right, guys, I have got a question up on the board for you, for my eager beavers. It is a little bit challenging, but if you read it carefully, you will be fine. So just make sure you read the question before you get going. And if you want to check your answers halfway, you're welcome to put the answers up and I'll tell you how they're going, or you can work through the whole question and then give me your final answer, whatever you prefer. Hello. Welcome, guys. Those of you who've just arrived, give this question a try for me. And let me know if you need help or ask questions along the way if you're struggling. So it does kind of look like a kite that's rounded off on the top, but it's actually just a triangle and a semicircle. So when you're working out your area, you're wanting to find the area of your triangle, and then you want to find the area of your semicircle, and you want to add them up. So I'll give you some helping hints here on the side. Sorry about my ceiling there for a second. So if I'm looking at the area of a triangle, that's going to be base times height over 2. And if I'm looking at the area, I'm just going to tell you of a full circle, you need to do some thinking. That's pi r squared. So think about those two things and how we could bring them together. Yeah, it does kind of look like ice cream. I could eat some ice cream too. We can even put like a little cherry on the top of our ice cream. Brown stalk. It's almost cherry season. Those of you who have just arrived, welcome. There is a question on the board to try while you're working through it. Please feel free to ask questions if you're struggling. And if you have answers, let me know and we can see if you're right or wrong. I recommend you try, and while you're working through this, try find the area. Oh, now I'm in brown. Well, I suppose that's okay. Try find the area of your semicircle, and then you want to add the area of your triangle, and that should give you a full area of your shape. just as some help while you work through this, because it is a tough question. And there's a really, really important line here where it says the height of the triangle is twice the length of the radius of the circle. That's a really important line. Oh, we have our first answer coming in. I don't get that answer. I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong, but it's not the answer that I got. What did you get for your area of your semicircle? Was that just the area of your semicircle? That's where you've gone wrong. I don't know if you've made it semi. I don't know if you've made it a half a circle. I think you may have done a full circle. Also not what I got. Quite a lot smaller than what I got. I'm going to give you guys 2 more minutes and then I'll take you out of your misery. Hi to those of you I have not greeted yet. I'm just giving you a little bit of time to work through this question and then we will go through it together. So don't panic if you're feeling lost. We will go through it. The height is definitely not 6. So let's talk about that height. That might help you a little bit. If my diameter here, so my diameter is 20, that means that my radius, so that's half of my diameter, is going to be 10. And they're telling me that the height of the triangle is twice the length of the radius, which means that my height over here is going to be 20. Hello, those of you who've just said hi. Hello back. Okay, let's work through this and see how we are all doing with it. Also not what I got, but I think you'll see where yours was different to mine now. Okay, I'm just going to turn this video off and then let's get going. All right, so all I've done here is I've combined two different things that we've learned about so far. The first thing I'm going to talk about is finding the star. Never give up in maths. The first thing we're going to do is try and find the ice cream part of our ice cream cone. And that right there is a semicircle. Canva, that is looking like a nice answer. So a semicircle is half of a circle. All right. And this is the area of a full circle. So our formula, I'm not going to put in numbers just yet. That's pi r squared. And then it's half because it's half of a circle. And my triangle, which is this dude down here. Oh my gosh, you know what? Tiama, I think I forgot to add one of the triangles. So your first answer might have been right. I might have made a mistake here. Oh, there's still hope. I've just realized that I only did one triangle. So one of the triangles, oh no, I did do the full triangle. Never mind. Okay, so base times height, I gave you false hope there. Base times height over 2 is going to give us that area of that yellow triangle. And we're going to try and figure out that area. So now let's fill in the information that we know. For our circle, pi, our radius is 10 and we're squaring it and then we're dividing that by 2. And then our triangle situation, our base is 20, our height is 20 and we're dividing that by 2. And we're going to chuck that straight into our calculator. So what we should get, hoping I have some space here, is that pi times 100 over 2 should give us pi 50. And this over here gives us 200. And if we put that into our calculator, we get a total of 357,08. So Canva close, just not quite there. I vaguely think I had a number similar to this. But Tiamo, you have a 25708, not a 3. Was that a typo? I don't know. Okay. Was this your first answer? I thought your first answer was 500 and something. Oh, I see it. I missed that one. Sorry. I saw the 514 and then the 314. I missed your third one. But yes, you got there in the end. So you see there was absolutely no need to give up because you had the right answer the whole time. And that is how we would work out the area of this beautiful ice cream cone. So we did this, just for recapping for those who are feeling a little bit lost, this was the area of half of our circle. So we just put in our radius of 10 and we landed up getting 50 pi or pi times 50. Then this is the area of our triangle, which is 20 times 20 over 2, which gave us 200. And so our final answer was 357,08. Does anyone need me to sit on this question any longer before we dive into surface area and volume? Cool. Okay, so we're going to try and do quite a lot in an hour, but I have faith that we will be able to do it. Okay. So if I have a square or a rectangular prism, so what you're seeing here, this is a cube. That's what that picture is. But I could also do this for a rectangular prism. Who can tell me, well, first of all, who can tell me what the difference between surface area and volume is? Who knows what that difference is? Height is definitely involved. Good. Height is definitely involved. Do you have a bottle near you or a cup or a mug, anything that you can see or you can hold? So something like that's visible that you can hold. I'm going to show you with this water bottle. Okay. I'm hoping you can see this. Okay, so this is my water bottle. So if I'm looking at surface area, it means I'm just going to take this lid off over here And then what we're looking at is a cylinder. Okay, so this is a cylinder. So circle at the bottom, circle at the top. And if I'm wanting the volume, it's meaning I'm wanting to find out exactly, see, a volume takes out, it's the amount of space. So it's what's inside the cylinder, what I could fit inside the cylinder, that's my volume. And surface area is like if you wanted to wrap a Christmas present, I need to know how much wrapping I need to cover everything. So it would be this whole outside of my cylinder, the top and the bottom. That would be my surface area. So it's exactly what it says. It's the area of all of my outsides that make up my surface, and we add them together, and volume is what is on the inside. Okay, so surface area, let's just kind of for ourselves, well, let's start with volume. So volume is basically the space on the inside, so how much we could fill it by, and the surface area is looking at all the exterior, so the outside areas added together. Okay, and I'm going to, in this little rectangular square cube prism thing that we have going on here, I'm going to call this distance over here, I'm going to call that my length, so an L. I'm going to call this distance over here my breadth, so a B, and then I'm going to call this distance here my height. Can someone tell me how I figure out the area of this prism using those three letters? Who thinks they can tell me?
Length times breadth times height.
Beautiful. So my volume in this situation is going to be length times breadth times height. And volume is always going to be the area of the base. So whatever shape we're dealing with. So in this case, we're dealing with this base down here. And if I wanted the area of that, I would say length times breadth. And then I'm timesing it by the height of the prism. And this concept is with us like forever. So whenever we're looking at a volume of any kind of prism, if we can figure out the base of the prism, we can multiply it by the height and we can get what that volume is. Okay. And if I was looking at surface area here, I have to add up all of my different sides. Now we are going to assume that this isn't a cube, because if it's a cube, it's nice and easy because all 6 sides are the same. If it was just a normal rectangular prism, that blue base that I've colored in there would be the same as this blue base at the top there. This side piece would be the same as that side piece. So think about a dice if you have something near you. And then this front piece would be the same as that back piece. And so what we land up with is we've got 3 different sides that we then can multiply by 2. So if I'm wanting to work out my surface area here, I would say I've got 2 of my bottom one, which was length times breadth, plus my yellow one, which would be breadth times height, plus my orange one, which would be length times height. And we're going to double that. Now, remember, when you look at formulas like this, it always looks more confusing than the actual questions actually are. So I don't want you to panic. We're going to do this first question. I'm going to try and keep that formula up there. And I'd like you, for this question, to work out the volume and to work out the surface area of that rectangular prism in the picture. Nice. Nice job, guys. Great work on the volume. Now try and start working on that surface area. So surface area, because it's a collection of areas, it's going to be centimeters squared, and volume is going to be centimeters cubed. Okay. So our volume is definitely 96 centimeters cubed. So volume is always going to be cubed. Now let's try focus on our surface area. Our surface area here, we have 2 times 6 times 2 plus 2 times 8 plus 6 times 2. And we can chuck that straight into our calculator like that. So 12 plus 16 plus, oh, sorry, 8. And we get the beautiful answer of 152 centimeters squared. So just so that you can all see what I'm doing, this 6 times 2, that's that bottom base and its complementary top base. This 2 times 8 would be this side and then its opposite side, which is the same as it. And then the 6 times 8 would be this front piece and the back piece, which is exactly the same as it. And so that is how we would work out our volume and our surface area of this prism. Beautiful. Does anyone need to sit on this question? Ready for another one? No, Wazi, well done. Nice answer. Okay. So this one's similar, except now it's not a rectangular prism, it's just a cube. So if it's a cube, it means that all of my sides are equal. Now you can use the exact same formula that we used previously, or you can do something to make your life a bit easier. Think about it and do your best and let me know what your answers are. I want volume and surface area. Nice job, guys. See, quite a few of you have done the volume already, so I'm just going to start over here by volume. I don't want to rush those of you who are still working. Okay, so our volume is 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64 centimeters cubed, which is great. And then our surface area, I'm going to give you 1 more minute. Okay, our surface area, if we did it the long way, 2 times 4 times 4 plus 4 times 4 plus 4 times 4 which is 2 times 48, which gives us 96 centimeters cubed. Now, the fast way of doing that is that if this is a cube, then this area is going to be the same as this area, which is going to be the same as this area, which is going to be the same as this area, which is the same as that area, which is the same as our front area. So it actually just means that we've got 6 sides, which are exactly the same as each other. And we would get exactly the same answer. But now remember, everything in maths, you can choose which way you want to do it. So if you feel more comfortable with doing it the slightly longer way, this way over here, that's absolutely, ooh, that should be a square. That should be absolutely fine. For surface area, do we put 2 times? Yeah, hello.
Why do you have to put 2x in surface area?
So you mean 2 times? Sorry, that should be a multiplier.
Yes.
So let's have a relook at this one over here to try and explain it. If I'm just working out, let's not have that 2x there, right? So we've just got the 6 times 2, the 2 times 8, and the 6 times 8 with the colors that I've colored in on that cube. Do you see that at the moment, I've got 3 sides of my cube that aren't colored in? They're blank. They haven't got any color. And so the reason we say 2 times that is because there are 2 of each. This yellow side over here, there's another yellow side on the other side of the cube, which is identical to it. So this is saying that's my 1 yellow side, and then we're saying there are 2 of them. So for all of my sides, I've got 2. And that is why I need to multiply it by 2 at the end. So I think that also answers Sinclair's question. Hopefully it makes a little bit more sense. Not that this mess could make any sense, because that's cuckoo. So think about it like this. If that what I said didn't make sense, if you have any cube near you, or if you have any kind of dice, or even a book, if you look at a book, okay, there are 6 sides in any kind of cube or rectangular prism. And so if we are only working out these 3 over here, then we're only working out half of it. We're only working out 3 sides. And so we say 2 times so that we get all 6 sides. All right. Okay. Triangular prisms. Triangular prisms, it works exactly the same way as we were just talking about now. We want to get the area of our base and we want to multiply it by our height. What is the formula for the area of a triangle? Who can tell me what the formula for area of a triangle is?
Base times height.
Base times height, what? Don't forget it. Over 2, or half base times height. Yeah, cool. Okay, so that is the area of a triangle, and in this case, that's the area of my triangular base, and then we would multiply that by the height of our prism. So we're going to work out what that area of that triangular base is, and then we multiply it by the height of our whole prism. When we're working out our surface area in a triangle, it's a little bit different. So for surface area, we've got this orange triangle in the front, and then we also have another orange triangle at the back. So we've got 2 of these dudes. And then what shape do we have here? What type of shape is that?
Rectangle.
Yeah, good. And so then we have to work out what our 3 different rectangles are. And we're going to add their areas. So 3 rectangle areas. And again, this is going to make more sense when we start doing it a little bit more practically. But the most important thing to understand is that whenever we're dealing with volume, we take the area of our base, we multiply it by our height. So whatever that base is, if it's a cylinder, if it's a trapezium, we just have to figure out what the base is. We times it by the height. And our surface area, we have got 2 triangles, and then we have got 3 rectangles. Okay. So keeping that up there, tried to give you every like piece of information that you could need so that there's nothing new you have to find. I would like the volume of this triangular prism, and I would like the surface area. Okay, so for this volume here, we need the area of that base. So 7 times 3 over 2, that's going to be the area of our base triangle. And then we're going to multiply that by the height of the prism, which is 12. So 7 times 3 divided by 2 times 12, which gives us 126. Why are my numbers very different to yours? Where did you get your 73,5 from? Because remember, in a triangle, when we're working with base and heights, they have to be perpendicular to each other. So my base and my height here, they're not giving me an option. That has to be my height, and that has to be my base, because they are the only ones that are perpendicular to each other. No, Ozzy, I don't get that for my surface area, but I think it's just from one rectangle that we have different, because my answer is not hugely different. Okay, good. You didn't see the 3. Okay. Maybe let me make it a bit bigger then. So remember, when you're working out the surface area, you want that triangle plus this front triangle. And then you want to add the 3 different rectangles. So I want to add this orange rectangle. So think about what that will be times what. Then I want to add this back yellow rectangle. So think about what that one would be. And then I want to add this bottom green rectangle. That's my help. Try and see what those ones would be. Give it your go, best go, and then put your answer in the chat for me when you have something you feel confident with. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, load shedding is a real pain. Canva, that's quite a big number.
Ma'am,
Okay, let's have, yeah, Canva, sorry, what's wrong?
please calculate the volume of the rectangle.
No, so we're not wanting the volume of them because they're flat surfaces, they're 2D surfaces. So we want to get the surface, well, the surface area, and surface area is all of our different areas combined. So let me help you a little bit. Like if we were looking at this green one down here at the bottom, if I wanted the area of that green rectangle, that would be 7 times 12. So my green rectangle would be 7, let me put the 12 there and the 7 there, 7 times 12. And if I looked at this orange rectangle, which is our top rectangle, that would be 12 also times 7. And so we're going to work out what that is. And then we want to work out our yellow one. And then we have our 2 triangles that we need to add. Why not share? Exactly. Sharing is caring. And Sia, I have 2 puzzles for you today since you asked so nicely on Monday. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's try and break this down a little bit. So I'm going to try and get rid of all my colors as we do this step by step. The one is definitely easier than the other. I can say that much. So first things first, I have these 2 triangles that I need to work out their area of, okay? And you'll see that they are the same as each other. And the area of a triangle is base times height over 2. Okay, so my base here is 7. My height is 3. We know that because we already used it in our volume. And we're going to divide it by 2. But there are 2 of them. There are 2 of those triangles. So we are now going to times by 2. So technically, we don't need that divide by 2, but let's write it in while we're learning anyway. Okay, so that's the first thing that we're going to do. Now we need to start tackling our different rectangles. So I'm just going to get rid of this color again so you can see what I'm doing. I want to look at this red rectangle here. Now, if you see that red rectangle, my base is 12. And this distance over here, this width, they've got these 3 lines telling me it's the same as those 3 lines, which means that this length over here is 7 centimeters as well. And so that red area is going to be 12 times 7. Okay. Next rectangle. I'm going to work out this back rectangle over here. And this one's width is 3.5 and its length is still 12. So that area back there is going to be 3.5 times 12. And then we've got one more situation, which is, oh goodness, this bottom rectangle. That's the last one we haven't done. Okay, and that width is 7 and the length is 12. So we're going to say plus, oh, I've already done that one. Sorry, guys. I'm losing my mind. So we've done 12 times 7. We've done 3.5 times. Oh, no, I haven't done that one. I wasn't losing my mind. I had done a different one. Okay. And that base over there is also 12 times 7. So we're going to say another 12 times 7 over there. And from that point, we can actually just chuck that into our calculator straight like that. We don't need to do anything fancy. We don't need to show any further working. All of our marks are actually just figuring out that part over there on how we do it. And we get this beautiful answer. So 12 times 7 plus 3.5 times 12 plus 12 times 7, and we get 231 centimeters squared. Did anyone get anywhere close to that number? Tell me which parts of that you got. So try and look at your work and see, did you get the blues? Did you get the reds? Did you get the yellows? Did you get the greens? See what you got that I didn't get, or what I got that you didn't get. Try and have a look at your work. Let's see if we can break it down. Not even close. Okay, that's okay. Can you see where you went wrong? You got the 200 right.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I did get the volume right, but from surface area, I didn't do anything because I was confused. And when you say 12 times 7, I became more confused. I'm lost.
Okay, so are you feeling like super lost by this green 12 times 7 over here?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to look at the shape that I've got over here, this picture. And I want you to imagine that none of that else was there except for this bottom rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to redraw that bottom rectangle. This would be 7 and that would be 12. Okay, if I wanted the area of that rectangle, how would you work out the area of that rectangle?
7 times 12.
Yeah, and that's where this 12 times 7 is coming from. We're just working out this area of this bottom rectangle. That's all that's happening. And then the yellow is working out the area of the back rectangle. You see, this is why it's good to ask questions. You see that your questions are helping other people. So that back area, that rectangle was 3.5 by 12. So that's this yellow one over here. And then the last one, which was the red one, that was this rectangle. And that was 12 by 7 as well. And so those are our 3 rectangles, plus our front triangle and our back triangle. Let's, does it make a bit more sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure, anytime. Do you want to do your puzzle before we do another triangle, or do you want to do a puzzle, a triangle and then a puzzle? What do you guys want?
Puzzle.
Puzzle. Okay. All right. Let's go. We'll come back to the triangle, I promise. I know this one's not super, super clear, but it is clear enough to see what to do. Don't try and rush this one. Read it carefully. Don't just throw numbers at me like you have been prone to do in the past. Read it super carefully, and I promise you I've tried to trick you twice. Actually, 3 times. So have a look at it carefully, see if you can figure it out, and then tell me what my answer is. I can confirm that that answer is incorrect. Also incorrect. Also incorrect.
15.
Ah, Keegan. I think Keegan's just gotten it. Keegan, how do you keep on getting these so quickly? I feel like You've got something crazy happening in your brain that just goes on. Keegan is absolutely right. The answer is 4. Do you want to try and figure out why the answer is 4 before I explain it to you? Try and have a look at it and you see if you can find out the answer. But the answer is 4. Keegan has some kind of weird puzzle superpower. So answer is definitely 4. Let's try and figure out why. Okay, we can see that a soccer ball. Why didn't you tell me then, Sia? A soccer ball plus a soccer ball plus a soccer ball is 18, which means each of these must be 6. Okay, but if we look at this carefully, there are 6 parts, like black parts of my soccer ball. And so in this soccer ball, I only have 3, which means that number is going to be 3 and not 6. Okay, then let's look at our clock. This is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 9. And if you have a look, the hands are on 3 o'clock, and here the hands are on 2 o'clock. So that's now a 2. And then for our fans, 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 minus 3 is 6. But you'll see that there are 3 parts to the fan, and here there are only 2 parts to the fan. And then we have to do BODMAS. Remember, we don't fall for that trick anymore like we did last time. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. So close. Sorry, Sia, but you were beaten. He's just too fast. But there's still hope because there's one more puzzle. So let's see. Are you ready? Let's go down. But think about how good they are for your brain, Canva. They're making our brain stretch. Okay, the next one. I think some of you might find it more difficult and some of you may find it easier. How old is Lucy? That is my question to you.
37.
Let's have a look. See some answers streaming in. Why didn't you guys fall for my trap? I made it so trappable and you just got the right answers. Okay, well, some of you fell for my trap, so I do feel a little bit better. Okay, let's see. Yeah, what's wrong?
Please explain it because right now I'm so frustrated.
Okay, well, let's try and see who our first person who got this one right was. So we've got Lisa. When Lisa was 6 years old, her sister Lucy was half her age. Okay, so let's just try and write this out. When Lisa was 6, her sister was half her age, so her sister was 3. If Lisa is now 40, how old will her sister be? So how many years has passed to get from 6 to 40? Well, it's been how many years? How many years between 6 and 40? Come on. There we go. Thank you. 34 years has passed to go from 6 to 40. So we have to add on 34 years for her sister as well. And so we see that her sister is 37. So let's see who got this right. We've got quite a few people. Oh, Marilise has a little bandaged head. That can't be good. So we've got 37 for Sia, 37 for Chelsea, 37 for Jude. And it looks like Jude was our first one. Another win for Jude. So we have got Jude and Keegan, who our current winners are for today. Nice job, guys. Well done. My goal was to say, when I first looked at this, I just halved her age, and I'm a math teacher. So I was like, oh, she's 20. Obviously, she's 20. She's half of her sister's age, because I forgot how time works in real life. Okay, but well done to those of you who got that 37. And I think Jude got that exceptionally quickly. So well done. I'm very proud of you for not getting. See, did you get it? I swear you did not get it for Jude. I swear.
Is he
Sia.
the one? Is he the one who made a voice record and said 37?
Yes. I
It
did hear
was
someone say
him.
37. Was he before Jude?
Man, it was a tie.
It was a tie. Okay. Okay. Sia, I'm hearing from everyone that it was a tie. So, oh, no tie. Jude, are you saying that Sia won or are you saying that you won? Oh, okay. Okay, well, I will have to I'll have to do something before we go. Oh, before we do our next triangle question, remember on Monday I asked you to think about which sections you would like me to revise. While I scroll up and when we end this conversation at 5:02 and we sort of do our wind down, can you start thinking about which topic you would like us to go through next week when we do exam revision, and just put it in the comments for me. So whenever you think of something you're really struggling, just chuck it into the comments and then I'll make sure we cover those things over the next 2 weeks. Okay, while you are thinking of that, I have got another question on the board for you. Well done to Sia and Jude and to Keegan. Okay, thanks for putting those on. Just keep on putting them on the chat when you think of things. And while you are doing that, I have got a question up on the board. I'm going to give you a little hint. You're definitely going to need to use a Pythagoras at some point. And we'll go from there. Yeah, you're writing it super late, so you've got lots of time to go through it. Okay, so once you've written what section you would like us to cover over the next 2 weeks in the comments, then have a look at this question and see if you can find the volume and the surface area for me. Sia, didn't you get like 90% on your transformation test? I feel like it was you. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just can't keep up with your 90%. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Just keep them coming in. And while that's happening, have a look at this question that's up on the board. And we are wanting the volume and the surface area of it. I promise I'm going to write down everything that you've written, so don't panic. We've got 4 lessons, so I'll see what I can cover in that time. Okay, just as a little bit of a helping hand, I'm just going to label this A, B, and C. And we can see that AB squared plus AC squared is going to be BC squared because of Pythagoras. I'm not going to do the whole question for you just yet. I'm going to give you a little bit more time. But those of you who are still struggling a little bit with Pythagoras, then at least you'll know where to go to from here. Okay, so we know that that is now 15. Okay, so I've just helped you a little bit with the Pythagoras. And now that should make finding your volume nice and easy. Remember that when we are looking at the area of a triangle, which we need for volume and for surface area, the base times height over 2, that base has to be perpendicular to the height. And by perpendicular, I mean at a right angle. All right. So have a look at it. See if you can tell me what's going on for your volume and your surface area. Great. Good answers coming through so far. Don't forget your units. For your surface area, just remember we're looking for our 2 triangle areas and then our 3 rectangle areas. I'm just going to put the volume in so long because I can see quite a few have already done that. So we've got 15 times 20 over 2 times 32, which gives us 4800 millimeters cubed because we're in volume. So for your surface area, just think we have this triangle and then we have the triangle at the back. So there's 2 of them. And then we've got this top rectangle here. Think about what its length and what its breadth is. We've got this yellow rectangle chilling at the back. And we have got this green rectangle on our base. Get a similar answer, but not quite the same, if that helps. Also, that's much higher than my answer. There we go, Cumber. Okay, I'm going to go through it with you guys just because we're running out of time. So I'm going to do it step by step. We're going to start by talking about these blue triangles. So everyone should have been able to get that part. And remember with maths, it's we never leave anything blank. We always try something because there's always something we can do. And in this case, even if we felt completely overwhelmed, we know that we could say we have 2 triangles that are 15 times 20 over 2, which means we know we can at least get 1 mark. Okay, then we're going to look at this red rectangle over here, and that's going to be 25 times 32. And then we've got this back rectangle over here. That's also 32, and that's going to be 15. So we're going to add 15 times 32. And then we've got this green rectangle chilling on the bottom, 32 and 20. So those are what our 3 different sums look like. So make sure you have all of those. And remember, if we write things out properly, it always helps us see where we are going right or where we are going wrong. And then at this point, we can chuck it into our calculator and we will get 15 times 20, that's 25 times 32, that's 15 times 32, that's 20 times 32, and we get 2,220 millimeters squared because of the surface area. And on that note, we actually need to end because we have run out of time, but I promise I'll put some of these questions in our revision that we do over the next 2 weeks. And on that note, I am going to pass over to Marlies.
Hi everybody. Tula had to go because of load shedding, so I'm just quickly going to share with you what we normally do, which is our course information and all of that stuff. So just wait for it to load. Well done. Today was your last lesson on measurement, surface area and volume. So next week, like Ms. G said, you're going to be starting with your exam prep. So that's exciting, or maybe not. It depends on how you feel. Our leaderboard, Alexis did the most activities this week, 7. Well done. And Raquel, 5, and Sipesihle, 4. I want to know where everyone else is and why they're not working on the app. Remember, we have to practice our maths that we learn in class to make sure that we understand and can do it ourselves. Right, so on that note, what you can go and do on the app, for surface area and volume, you go to the topic called surface area and volume, and there's lots there for you to do. Surface area of a cuboid. Cuboid is just an American word for, yeah, like a cube, a 3-dimensional cube. And then surface area of a rectangular prism and volume of rectangular prisms. Those are all the ones that you can practice after today's lesson. And I think that is it from my side, Ms. G. Did they tell you what they want to revise?
Yeah, at the moment, guys, I have transformations and translations, factorizing, geometry, similarity and congruency, and graphs. So if I have not said the section that you are struggling with, please make sure you put it in the comments before you leave. But otherwise, I hope you have a lovely evening, and I will see you next week, Monday.
Bye, everybody. Well done. Bye, Sia.
Yeah.
Bye, Nolwazi.
That must become
Bye, Kamba. Functions
Functions.
and relationships. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
With load shedding? With as in on Monday? Our
Well, we
lessons will carry
teach-
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of
We-
load shedding, I will be here from 5 until 6.
We keep going.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Bye, Mutlahu. Factorizing.
Oh, ma'am,
Yeah.
I've actually been using my mom's account, Daphne.
Ah, Daphne, hello. I've missed hearing you. Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know. Now I know.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, Daphne.
Bye.